Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our wonderful recording today with myself, Sonia Clark, here with Prosper with Sonia Clark. And I'm bringing you the wonderful, lovely Heather Buzzard. So welcome, Heather. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having Buzzard's Corner of Love. Thank you.
Listeners, let me tell you a little bit about Heather. So our topic today is going to be on CEO spiritual well-being. So there's quite a lot that we're going to be talking about today on that, and some really great tips and strategies there that Heather has got. We have had a wonderful talk prior to us doing this recording. So we've got to know each other really well, and Heather has got absolute plethora of information and fabulous tips to give you. So Heather Buzzard is the CEO and owner of Buzzard's Corner of Love. She's been part of her spiritual experience her journey has been a part of 34 years. She's the radio show host of Buzzard Corner Love Radio. She's a spiritual life coach, counselor, a Reiki level master of level 2, so Reiki master, I should say, and an author of 2 books. So you can tell that she's got a lot of wonderful experience to be able to share with us today and on our topic. So thank you, Heather, very much for being here and giving us a different insight for the life of a lot of business owners. We are not just professionals, we are human beings as well, and a part of a lot of us is our spiritual well-being. So what could you share for us today?
Thank you for having us on your show, Sonia. It's a pleasure for us to be here. I'd like to say to all business owners, it's about balance, having balance in your life, because if you're just into business, into getting, then you will be off balance. If you're into just providing and on the other side of the spectrum, you'll be off balance as well. So you need to be in the middle of balance and have and in both. And hopefully in your thinking, you will think and in both. It is okay for me to have money, and it is okay for me to have a spiritual relationship, because in truth, God, whatever you choose to call that something, is the source of where everything comes from. And by acknowledging that source, by knowing and acknowledging it and giving thanks for it, brings the clients, brings the people to you, helps the business open up. I noticed that for my business, for Buzzard's Corner of Love, in order for this business to come out, I don't do a lot of advertising, yet I do a lot of meditating on this business, and I do a lot of being grateful and appreciative for the people who do come my way. And it's interesting to see how life comes to you instead of you going out to have to chase it. That takes a tremendous amount of trust, though, and an unseen power. Yet if you're in the business world, you can still develop that relationship within yourself, I believe. It takes work and it takes effort, yet you will see it in your business, because having a balance brings balance to not only your business, your family, yourself, and your friends, and everything else in your life. So to just tie it to business, it's more than that, because it's an energy that is being used.
It's very interesting concept, really, the balance, as far as I find that there is a lot more of the entrepreneurs compared to, say, the business owners. Entrepreneurs typically, they take a little bit more risk, and I have found that those that tend to call themselves an entrepreneur compared to those that call themselves a business owner, I find that after having talked to so many, a lot of them find it very difficult to balance a lot of things, that they like the different risks that come with doing so much in and around their business. They do find it very difficult with balancing a lot of personal and professional life and everything that's associated with it, all the different facets of personal and professional. So let's deep dive a little bit more on that, and then eventually we'll get to your story. But with the balance, could you tell us a little bit more about what your belief around that is, and what are some of the tips that you would give people that are listening? How
Well,
can
knowing that
they do that?
everything starts in consciousness, everything starts in consciousness. And we here at Buzzard's Corner of Love say that what you think and what you speak is what you create. So for each and every business person, what are you thinking? What are you speaking to yourself, to your other business employees, to your significant other? Are you speaking words of empowerment? Are you speaking words of positivity? Or are you speaking words of negativity and disempowerment? I.e., I'll give you an example. Uh, with this COVID-19, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen with our business. We're not going to be able to make it. We don't have this. We don't have that. Or are you saying, you know what? Thank you for this COVID-19. This is giving us a chance to expand our business, to open up ourselves, and to give ourselves some new ideas and to create new things. You would be surprised by the businesses that have changed. Even car salesmen have changed the way they sell cars because of this COVID-19. That's an expansion. And the car salesman said, I'm not going back to the regular way because it worked so well for him. So it's being able to be willing to open up to new ideas, to new things that you've never done before. And let me tell you something, Sonia, a difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman usually has the backing of money. An entrepreneur has to take that leap of faith.
Yep.
Say, you know what? I'm going to jump, and God, like, you will catch me. And my being a prime example of that. I'm an entrepreneur. Buzzard's Corner of Love came into existence through me. And it was my faith, my trust, and my belief that this would come about. And now I'm doing, and having what it is I desire. So
Yeah.
it's really having a lot of trust and faith in the unseen power. That takes confidence and inner work.
It does take confidence, but it also takes a lot of courage. Some people,
Yes.
I think, either struggle with one or the other, and yet they're so interrelated, confidence and courage. Some people can feel that, well, it just is. It's my calling. And others is like, well, I don't know, but I want to. It's how would you, as far as confidence and courage, what extra sorts of tips could you give around that for people if they're still not really getting fully into their business and not backing themselves with their confidence and courage? What would you suggest and give them guidance on?
I would say to them, because I had to ask myself that own question. When I started Buzzard's Corner of Love radio, Buzzard's Corner of Love began as blog writing. We blog wrote for 5 years. And I said, Heather, there's nobody listening to you. There's nobody reading this. Yet that wasn't true, because as the more that I did it, the more people read it. So I was committed to it. And it's, do you desire to be committed to it? Is this something you're willing to be committed to? Because it takes effort. Also, it's having that faith, trust, and belief in yourself that you are valuable, that you are worthy, and that you have something to say, be, do, or have that somebody else may need to hear or have in their life. And it's having that confidence in yourself. I will say this, and we say this on our radio show. God gave each and every one of us a gift to contribute to this world. We wouldn't be here, whether it's the gift of communication, the gift of cooking, the gift of sewing, the gift of organizing, whatever it may be. And that is what we need to hone in on. And when we're able to hone in on our gift and tell our story instead of being that story and have that story work for us, is when you will see business and your balance and spiritual. I know that's what's happened for me. It's taken a lot of discipline. It's taken a lot of faith, and it's taken a lot of trust to really allow myself to go deep within myself. Yet I tell you, it's worth it, because once you establish that foundation, nothing can disrupt that.
Yeah, which is absolutely beautiful. And then paying it forward and helping others. It's just, it's a lovely thing. Some people look at it that, well, I don't want to charge for my services because this is my purpose. And then other people, well, is it my purpose, but I need to charge? and
Well,
there's
you
a lot of
know,
confusion that can happen in there.
your purpose is your life's calling. God said, I'll give you what it is you desire. God works through people. At least this is our thinking, is that God works through people. So knowing that you're working your purpose, God is going to give you your gifts for it, whether it comes in money, bartering, or receiving, whatever it may be, you're going to receive a gift. Yeah, I hear what you say about money, and that is that's another tip I'm going to give to my angels out there listening. Your money consciousness. What is your money consciousness? Do you believe that you can have money? Do you believe that you're worthy and deserving of receiving money? Do you even believe that what are your beliefs about money? Because for me, I had to work on my money consciousness. I didn't believe first off, I didn't believe anybody would pay for what I had. That has to be changed. If you're a business person and you don't believe that anybody's going to pay for what you have, you've already stopped yourself.
Mm.
So I had to switch that in my mind. What's the point of doing this, Heather, if you believe that, nobody's going to pay for what you have? Yes, somebody out there, somebody somewhere will pay for it. And that's what happened over the years.
Mm.
And so it's a mindset about, and how do you look at money? Do you worship money? Do you look at money as a tool? Do you need money? Is it a desire in your life? What is your relationship with money? Are you friends with it? Do you not like it? How do you speak about money? You'd be surprised what people's relationship is about money. And when I sat down and looked at my money beliefs, I was like, what? Because my ego was like, oh no, you don't have any problems. You're fine. Everything's great. Yet in truth, when I wrote it down on paper, what I truly believed, that's why I had to change my thoughts about money.
That's
What you
interesting.
think and what you speak is what you create. And if you're talking lack, you're going to create lack. If you're talking abundance, you're going to create abundance. If you're talking about being successful in your business, you will be successful. If you're speaking of not being successful, nobody listening to you, you can't get any help, then that is what you will experience. I guarantee. I wouldn't be sitting here on the Sonia Clark show if it wasn't for what I thought and what I spoke. And I'm speaking to my angels. I'm telling you guys, I spoke about this way before I met her. We're talking 30 years ago, angels. Seriously.
Yeah, long
Mm-hmm.
time. And you've
Yes.
really had to try to search for that quite a lot. I mean, your story is really quite amazing, and how you came to your spot. I mean, everyone transforms and goes through a lot of things, and it's still at the end of the day being true to yourself, so that when you're in business you can really be the best of you giving out.
Yes.
That's when you really can bring in the abundance and the prosperity in a lot of different ways, both in the tangible and the non-tangible way. So
Yes.
why don't you tell us a little bit about your story?
Well, my story is I was adopted as a baby, 6 weeks old, and I will say I was set free at birth to be able to be, do, and have whatever it was that I chose to be, do, and have. I was adopted by a wonderful Caucasian family, grew up out in the country. We had everything materialistically you could ever ask for. We went camping and running and playing, and all of that, had great education, all of that, angels. Yet the one thing that I never received was that unconditional love from a parent. And then growing up and my parents being white, I wondered, what was the difference? What happened? And then my mother explained to us, that she adopted us, and she said the reason why, because there were Black children at that time that needed adopting and needed a home, and she felt it was her place to do that. Yet growing up, as I got older, our ideas clashed because I became who I chose. My personality started coming out. And as my personality started coming out, she could no longer hide her truth. And angels, it was interesting to be raised in a home with a woman who is a racist woman, who's a prejudiced woman, because she taught me to be prejudiced against my own race of people. And that was a mindset that I had to change through affirmations and coming into loving myself and telling myself that I am worthy and that I am deserving. And it was a challenge. That was a challenge in itself. And that just pushed me to say, I'm going to find my birth parents. I was bound and determined to find my birth parents. And as I grew up, and after my parents kicked me out at 18 and threw me into the world and said, you're on your own, and I didn't know which way to go, what to do, or anything. And I got on this spiritual path. And I tell you, angels, it's been this spiritual path, my relationship with God, understanding who I am, being able to forgive, let go, and allow, that has got me to this space right here today. Also, being able to have this freedom, I've been able to experience both sides of the coin. I've experienced the Caucasian world and I've experienced the Black world. So I have a richness that a lot of people don't have. And it is just amazing to help, because now I'm able to use it in moving forward and bringing peace to this planet. I'm able to use my richness in helping in speaking with the white communities and the Black communities and bridging the gap, because I know I was taught to hate, dislike, to not accept Black people, and I'm a Black person, and I was taught that. So it took a lot to unwrap that, And in finding my birth parents, I am able to experience that unconditional love today, because I do know my birth parents and I have a relationship with them, and I'm able to move forward. And all of this, angels, and all of this, that was my story. And I used to be my story: angry, upset, frustrated, just going around telling the world about it. Yet I chose to heal from it. And it's when you're able to heal from your story and speak from this point that life will help you move forward. I wouldn't be sitting on this show if it wasn't true. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, I've seen that, excuse me, with a lot of different people that, and over time, that when they can accept their story and heal with it and from it,
Yes.
that
Yes.
they've actually been a whole lot better in their businesses and their relationships and
Yes.
their staff and their clients. I have seen it, and it's how can you really quantify that and qualify that? That's a little difficult. I personally just say that it's basically it's what then you are radiating outwards, whether you realize it or not, on a conscious level and a subconscious level. And it still comes down to then the words that actually are being said and how
Yes.
much of an effect it does. It really does have an effect, a ripple effect on everyone around you. And when people start to be a bit more of a peace with all of those different facets, business tends to just pick up. That's the positive business. I've often met with people that say, well, you've got to have money to make money, and it's only those who are greedy that will really become super successful. Well, we've seen also a lot of them that they've imploded, or they've not stood the test of time. They've not grown in the right way. Birds of a feather do flock together, but a lot of the more positive and holistic ones tend to grow a whole lot more, but they're just a little bit quieter with it, but a lot more globally. And this is what I like your story and how you've done it with yourself as an individual, and you're dealing with it and spreading that with a lot of other people. So you're a coach and a spiritual guide, and that you're out there with the radio station and talking to a lot of people about this. And life, we as human beings for our businesses, on a professional level, we also need to be very much in connection with our personal level on all the different facets within our personal life, both at home as well as at work, and with our clients and with our staff. So this is why I thought it was really important to bring you on, and so that you could share as many tips as you possibly could with our listeners.
Well, let me just say this too. Let me share these tips with my I call them angels. You guys are my angels.
It's lovely.
One tip is to exercise. You might not think that will do anything, yet stretching the body helps circulation, heals the body. And when your body feels good, you feel good. So on a body level, stretching your body, walking, doing 5 minutes of aerobics, Pilates, yoga, whatever it may be. Drinking water. I don't know how many drink a lot of water, but fluids, rinse out and flush out toxins and unwanted toxins. It really is beneficial. Meditation. I know when I speak to a lot of people about meditation, I can't sit for 20 minutes or an hour. You don't have to. 2 minutes. Quiet your mind for 2 minutes and allow yourself to be still as you begin. That's something. Being outside in nature reminds you of how life works together and how this unseen power holds the stars, the moon, the sunrises, the trees, brings the storms, the wind. We can't see the wind, yet this is this unseen power. And these are just tips that I do this all the time because it's a reminder of that this world really isn't who we are. And we were set here to have fun, to run and play, yet I believe we as people have lost the joy in it. I see too many people unhappy, unhealthy, tired. I mean, just don't want to be here. And we were put here, I believe, to have fun, to enjoy each other, to enjoy the other cultures, to enjoy each other's, different ways of being. And in business, if you aren't willing to open up yourself and open up your life and be in a positive energy space, how can you expect the business that you run to be in that space? Because if you think it's separate, it isn't, because everything is energy. Everything is energy. You have your dark matter and all of that, yet everything is energy. So if you have a business and your energy is one of frustration and anger towards yourself, towards your customers, towards whomever it may be, your business can't prosper. Buzzard's Corner of Love. Buzzard's Corner of Love. We represent love. Do you know how long it has taken us angels to be in this space to represent love? And it's a constant daily. And we don't always succeed. There are some days that we are so loving, yet, it's a conscious effort. And I think we tend to forget that. We go to church on Sunday and the rest of the week we're done, yet that isn't true. And forgiveness. I'm going to tell you this. How many of us are harboring unforgiveness? Businesses. Maybe your business partner didn't do you right, or you got short-ended in the business, or your business failed. Are you harboring unforgiveness? That'll stop you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have done so many drop the mics there and there. It's so true. And
Yes.
with some of us have heard this, some of us know this, but we just get so busy, and a decade goes. And then another decade goes. Are we being reflective regularly enough and keeping ourselves in stock, in check, and accountable to where we really want to be going and should be going? As in, are we doing it for the right intent and in the right way and with the right heart's attitude? Otherwise, really, are we just creating ourselves a job, and should we really be in business? Because I really do think that people who are in business and business owners have the responsibility to keep moving forward, stepping forward, to be in a positive way. The responsibility, because they impact so many people's lives and the communities. They impact our microeconomy and our macroeconomy. It's therefore our responsibility to keep moving forward each step and have a more of a level of a positivity in it than a negativity in it. It can be difficult. We might take a couple of steps forward and 1 or 2 steps back. Things happen, sure, but it's how we stand up to it, how we recover and keep moving forward. And as you said, with that positive energy, everything is energy. Absolutely. I love that. I'm like, oh, you're singing from my hymnal. And it can be difficult. And this particular year has shown a lot of people that even with things that are completely outside of our control. So we've seen things like, nasty, horrible things like cancers that are out of our control. And we've had things like wars in the past, or we've had economies, and now we've had where we can't physically be around people. There will always be things that will happen. It's about how we recover and how we can think through it. I'm often saying to people, look, as human beings, we are programmed genetically to continue to evolve and change.
Yes.
So the whole thought space around change and it being negative and bad and people don't like to change, that's a conjured up thought and a process and programming. It's actually part of us, and how we actually tune into it with positive and love, like you said. Go on, I know you're about to say something. Go for it.
Well, let me just mention, you said the negative. You'd be surprised, and I used to be one of them, angels, how much we enjoy feeding off the negative. Negative news, negative people, negative situations, negative shows, negative internet, negative songs, negative, 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 negative. And we've enjoyed negative so long, for so long, for so long, we think that it's normal. And for something positive, oh my, you'd be surprised how many people, when I'm feeling good and I'm singing and I'm happy, they look at me like I'm crazy because I'm smiling and I'm happy. I'm crazy. And
Yeah.
that's really sad that people think that, because then you say, or at least I wonder, well, what is your life like? For you to be upset with me who is happy, what kind of baggage are you carrying? How come? And let me tell you, this is another thing. What is it that you haven't done or said to forgive yourself? And business people, businessmen and women, are you carrying something that you've done or said of unforgiveness? Because that will stop your business as well. Everything is energy. And when you love yourself and you love what it is you be, do, and have, life comes to you. I'm going to give you an example. Me sitting here on the Sonia Clark show, Angels, she came to me.
Yeah.
That's the best example I can give you. I mean, but it takes trust.
Yes.
I didn't know you were coming. I didn't. I had no idea. Yet when you did, I said yes. And that's another thing. When opportunities come, to take hold of them. To take hold of it, whether you know what's going to happen or not. Because if you let fear stop you, and fear stops a lot of business people, then what happens? You can't move forward. Fear will paralyze you. I truly believe that. I truly believe that.
Oh, totally.
If you're fearful to take the next step out on faith, how can you grow your business? And you even mentioned it, Sonia. You said life is expansion. And if life wasn't about expansion, all of us would be back in, 1888 or whenever. I mean,
Thank goodness not. I do like my electricity as far as with my blow dryer and
I mean, look at all the,
hot water.
So it's part of life. Change is a part of life. But we have been so insistent on not changing. And even businesses in this COVID-19 season that we're moving through, businesses have even had to change.
Yep.
And that will be going forward.
Yep.
I don't see it going back.
No.
And it's a good thing.
Absolutely. Change always happens, and big changes have certain times in life, or I should say in time, that change happens. And there's been quite a few of us that have been forecasting in the next 5 years there was going to be some really quite major changes, and 10 years even major changes. But I really do think that this COVID has been the catalyst to actually start it a whole lot sooner than the 5 years from now. And were we ready? No, but we can be. And I think a lot of people have realised actually we probably adapted a whole lot better than what we realized. And
Right.
it is a whole lot better. And believe it or not, a lot of entrepreneurs have been that way. It's a lot of the other types of businesses and the processes and infrastructure that's taking its time. So entrepreneurs typically are not too bad with change, but it's staying the focus, it's staying true to themselves, and it's staying true to the pathway that they've chosen, and to be a little bit more collaborative, to help each other, guide each other along that way, because we tend to, it can be lonely, or it can be the emotional roller coaster is a little bit more.
Right. Right.
So what would be your tip then, say, on the emotional roller coaster that they tend to go through? How can you give them advice on to
Well,
deal
what
with that
came
better?
to me is when you said supporting each other, and and helping businesses support each other. One of the reasons why a lot of people won't support businesses, and it has to go back to your interpersonal
Yep.
jealousy. If I support them, then they're going to do better than I am, and I'm not going to do that because I'm trying to get ahead too. Take that back all the way back to when you were a kid. If I give them that toy, I don't want them to have that toy.
Yeah, exactly.
Work on yourself. Because when you're mature within yourself, of course I'm going to support this business, because it'll be a win for you and a win for me. You and I. This is a win-win for both of us.
Yep.
Yes, and it takes a mature attitude to see that. And this is something we've said in our show for a long time. There is a new energy that is in place. It is called the Aquarian energy. And that is a feminine energy. That's a nurturing, a loving, a caring energy. That male energy that's been around for so long will no longer hold. So those who don't want to change, well, you don't have to, but you won't have a good life. And those that do want to change will come along with it eventually. Yet within yourself, if you don't feel confident about who you are, whose you are, that you know that you're worthy, that you know that you're deserving, and that is all that matters, just because how can you move forward in anything? And it all goes back to mindset.
Yep.
Angels, what is your consciousness? Because if your consciousness is one of love, you will support and uplift another. If your consciousness is one of jealousy and hate, you will go another way. This is our consciousness, the world's consciousness in 2020, in the 21st century. Instead of discovering other planets and going out into other universes, our consciousness is still learning how to wash our hands.
I know.
Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
And we say we're adults.
Yeah. Oh, so many, like I said, boom, boom, boom.
I mean, a lot of people don't want to hear it. You'd be surprised.
I think that is, it's either you don't want to hear it, or people saying, yeah, no, I know, but are you really embodying it? And you really living it and doing it at every minute of every day? And
that's
that
right.
does require discipline, and it does require accountability. And I'm certainly not, I don't mean to be coming off preaching, and I'm certainly not perfect, but it's just trying to help each other. And you know, when you were talking, it reminds me of otherwise we're just crabs in a bucket. And
that's right.
Get out of that bucket and help each other out.
That's right.
This year I did hear someone say, if we've been in the information age, then truly this year is now in the collaboration age. We are definitely now into a collaboration age. And my husband has been on a personal journey through a lot of this, and coming to terms with all of the ins and outs and all of these sorts of things, and finally not being as stubborn. And you think I'm stubborn. I've said to people I'm stubborn, but boy. And he actually said something so wow the other day, and I went, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And he said something like, because he's hearing me collaborating with other people, and these wonderful people, these interesting people, and their messages and how to help each other out, and and some of the really big people that I've reached out to and have said, yeah, sure, Sonia, I'll support you. And because it's all about other people. it's not about me. And yet then there's the others that go, oh no, Sonia, if I have to help you, I'd have to help everyone. I go, oh my gosh, seriously. It's not about you, or it's not about me, it's about everyone else. But anyway, and he said something about and I had said that this is the year of collaboration, and the doors of opportunities are opening up, and I'm finding even that a lot of doors are constantly opening, and how to sometimes for some people, and certainly entrepreneurs, when there can be a lot of doors that do open up, and it can be a bit scary or daunting. Which door should I go through? Which doorway should I enter into? And my husband said, well, while we're standing in the hallway, can't we just talk there? Oh my gosh, that's quote. Well, yes, that's what we are doing. We are collaborating in hallways. We're in hallways. And who's to say that door that we just walk through, that's another hallway, and there's more people. So just walk through the doors, It's like,
I know that we as human beings want guarantees in life, yet life can't give us any guarantee, because it wouldn't be life if it was any other way. Also, you mentioned about the information and collaboration stage.
yeah,
We are, as a humanity, as a collective family, getting information with ourselves so that we can collaborate with each other.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And that's what,
because that's the only way this world will work. And this COVID-19 is showing us that we have to have each other. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what country you're from, whether you're white, black, rich, poor, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. What affects one affects all of us.
That's right. And we're still human beings at the end of the day.
That's
we need to help each other out. And that's what business is. Business is, sure, supply and demand. But we only find out about that supply and demand through information with each other and collaborating, and then have to actually work out the right way to do business.
And let me just say to the business owners, because I've had to look at myself and ask myself, how much do you appreciate the clients that you receive? Yeah. Because it's those clients that pay you. Are you grateful for those clients? Or are you griping and complaining because you didn't have enough? Because I was in both spaces. I was griping and complaining that I didn't have any clients. And God said, well, that's why you don't have any of it, because you're griping and complaining. So I started thanking Spirit for clients, and they came. Some have come. So it's where's your mindset? Are you grateful and appreciative? Even in this COVID-19, are you being grateful and appreciative for all that's coming or is yet to come, or the new changes that are happening? Or are you complaining about, oh God, how come I can't go back to the way it used to be? How come this happened? Yada this, yada that. Because once the past is past, you can't get it back.
No,
it's done.
Yep, it's done.
So the choice is on you. What do you choose to do? And I believe too, as we as business owners become more loving toward ourselves, that love will show out into the world, and it will draw the people that you need.
Yep.
It will draw it to you.
You always tend to draw to you what you're giving out. Yep.
That's right.
Birds of a feather who flock together. If you're putting that out, you will receive that. Absolutely.
That's right. And
it can be difficult. You've got to then stare at the mirror, and you've got to look at yourself.
That's right.
Oh gosh, we could talk on and on about that.
We've been buried our hands in the sand and look and turn, yet God gave us each of us beautiful faces. Each and every one of us has a beautiful spirit.
Yeah.
And here at Buzzard's Corner of Love, that's our calling, is to let people know that on a personal level, you are worthy and deserving already, just because you are.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so much can be healed with love. I love it.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me then, Heather, what is on the horizon for you for the remaining of 2020 then?
Well, we're excited because the remainder of 2020, we're going to continue our radio show. It comes on every Tuesday at 4 p.m. You can reach us at buzzardscorner.com. Scroll down to the end of the page and click radio show, and will take you to our radio page link. And it's BuzzardsKorner.com. Buzzards Corner with a K.com, and I guarantee you'll never meet another buzzard like me ever.
No, definitely
And
not.
also in October, we're going to be speaking at the Best You Virtual Online Expo. So we have
Okay.
that coming up in October. We'll be doing a week of that. And hopefully by the end of this year or beginning of next year, we will have Checkered Past, my life book, my story about my life
Oh,
coming out.
beautiful. The third book. Oh, that sounds
Yes,
very interesting. I like that.
yes.
Checkered Past too. That's a great
Checkered
title.
Past. Yeah. So
Fabulous.
it is. I'm excited. I'm
I
excited.
bet. Yeah, I can't wait to see that one come out. That's nice. So then do you
Yes.
have any offers that you would like to give the listeners?
I do. We have 3 different offers that we can offer our listeners. And we have a premium life balance package, and that's you can get 6 sessions of support, either Zoom, Duo, over the phone, in person if you're in the Los Angeles city area. If you're in the Los Angeles city area,
Not in
um,
lockdown like us.
right. We give self-empowerment tools. We do, like I said, we do 6 sessions, and in those sessions, you get self-empowerment tools. We'll have a small meditation. We do prayer. You receive affirmations, upliftment, encouragement, and support. That's our life balance package. And I tell you, premium life balance, and I guarantee you, angels, after those 6 sessions, you will see some balance in your life, balance that you did not have before. I guarantee it. I do. If you're willing to work the tools, you've
Yeah,
got to work the tools. You can't
yeah.
just write it down and not do anything about it. And we also offer phone sessions. If you're looking for support over the phone, we have a $75 phone sessions, or you can get it monthly at $250 a month. You can get a 1 call per week of support, phone support, and speak about what it is that you'd like phone support in. And we also have our restart package at $197. And in that restart package, you will get 3 sessions, and you'll get self-empowerment tools, affirmations, as well as our book, 5 Pillars for Life or Death. What are you choosing? Because that will be the workbook that will help you on your path of self-empowerment. So those are 3 deals, and we have 2 other deals over on our website under coaching packages that you can look at as well. Yet those are the 3 that we thought we would offer to you.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And like a lot of listeners will know, I'll grab those URL and pop it on my web page there so they can find that there and be able to access you from there, which is really, really lovely. Thank you very much for sharing that with our listeners. Excuse me, listeners. It's always really lovely to have wonderful people like yourself come on and to share
Thank
and
you.
to give and collaborate, which is really lovely.
Yes, yes.
So before we do a sign off, is there any last minute thing that you might want to say to the listeners?
I would just like to tell the listeners, you are worthy, you are deserving, you already have what it is that you need to be, do, and have whatever it is that you choose. Angels, you just need to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I'm a living testimony. I'm on this show because I believed in myself. Buzzard's Corner of Love is in existence because I believed in myself.
No.
That's my best advice.
Nice. Thank you very much for sharing so many pearls of wisdom there and so many mic drops. Got to go and clean that all up now. No.
Thank you so much for having us, Sonia.
It was absolute pleasure. Thank you very much and see you later.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.